What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of C.3.COMICS. As always, I'm your host, C3. I've been watching everybody for the holidays. They've been doing their top 10 comics of the year. So I figured I'd chime in and show you guys my top 10 reads of the year. Before we get started, do me a favor, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, ring the bell, so that every time I post up, you guys will be the first one to know. Shout out to all my subscribers, everybody that's been supporting the channel. I appreciate you guys. Thank you very much. I couldn't do it without you. There is no me without you. So it's only fair that I acknowledge that, right? Exactly. Yeah, so I brought a stack of my comics. You know, I grabbed my top 10 reads of the year. And keep in mind, my top 10 is going to be based on comics that, well, I've read the story arcs and finished them. So if the story arc isn't finished, then it won't be included in this particular set. All right. So we know there's some hot comics. We know there's some hot stories out there right now from Marvel, from Dark Horse. There's DC, and just for example, so Doomsday Clock won't be included in this because what I did was I waited until I got all the issues of Doomsday Clock before I actually would start reading them. So I haven't been reading Doomsday Clock at all. I was just collecting them. And since they just put out the final issue, now I can actually start reading them. So that'll probably be something I'll start next week after Christmas and start reading my Doomsday Clock now that I have them all in front of me. Right? So, like I said, if you don't hear me mention a certain comic and you guys know you'll know which one I'm talking about, it's only because the story arc isn't finished, and it's because it's an ongoing series right now. So this is only what I've read and what I've finished. All right. So without further ado, we're just gonna jump right in. Oh, and when I'm done, we'll do an unboxing or something. We'll surprise ourselves with something that came in the mail today. We'll see what we got. All right. Okay. So first up, we want to start off with, from Jinx World, Brian Michael Bendis. I don't know why I have such a hard time saying his name. Brian Michael Bendis cover. Now this is an excellent read. This book is about a secret agent who travels the world under the disguise of an artist. You know, going to all the comic book shows and Comic-Cons and all that other stuff, displaying his artwork, you know. So this is a pretty dope read right here. And what better way to go undercover, right, is as a comic book artist, right? So this one is an excellent read. So this is number 10. So starting at number 10, Brian Michael Bendis cover. And mind you, I'm not showing like just all number ones. These are just covers that I can reach for real quick. So because everything's boxed up and all that. So I grabbed some nice covers to show you guys, you know, some of my favorite covers to go along with them. You know, so here's the first one. This is number 10. Right? Next up, we got Mark Millar's Prodigy from Image. Prodigy. I thought this was a dope read because this is about a boy genius who grows up to be, he's like this gazillionaire, and, you know, he fights crime. There are things going on in the world to where, you know, he's like this superhero. He thinks his way through the equations and he figures out how to save the day, you know. So this one's pretty good right here too. So I really enjoyed this one, Prodigy. Next up, also from Image, right? So we have Maxwell Prince's Ice Cream Man. And I know we're all familiar with Ice Cream Man. You know, it's a bunch of different stories on the inside, and all of them having to do with pertaining to certain aspects of life, things that go on, you know, drugs and behaviors and everything that coexists in that particular world. And, you know, there's just a bunch of different stories in here. A very enlightening, comic book on some dark situations, if I can put it ever so, excellent. But I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. Next up, this one's coming from Boom Studios, and this one is being written by Ryan Perrault, and this is Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Necessary Evil. Really enjoying this story as well. I've been following it for a minute now, and it's really intriguing, So another story that's captivated, kept my attention for an entire year. So you gotta love it. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Next up, from Marvel, you know what this one is all about. Chip Zdarsky, your boy Daredevil. Your boy Daredevil. And keep in mind, this is number 6. Daredevil is numbered at number 6. Is labeled at number 6. My 6th top read of this year. Moving right along. We're halfway there at the halfway mark. My 5th best read of the year. Many of you may have forgotten about this one, but I liked it. I really enjoyed it. Christopher Sabella, Crowded. This is excellent. This is about this app to where people were putting this hit out on this girl for $1 million, and she had to find herself a bodyguard to help keep her alive. And there's all types of confusion and shenanigans going on in this book. But I really enjoyed this book because it was entertaining. It was like you didn't have to dig too deep in order to understand what was going on. So it was just something that was very lighthearted, full of humor. The artwork was sharp and just went right along with the story. It just flowed, So this was a great book, So my number 5, my 5th best read of the year was Crowded. And it also came with that Spider-Man homage cover, first appearance of the Punisher. Yeah, that was pretty dope. Coming in at number 4, another one from Brian Michael Bendis. This one's coming from DC. Naomi. When Naomi came on the scene, she took everybody by storm. She snuck through the door, actually, because a lot of people wasn't even paying attention to her. About a young girl who finds herself having superpowers, realizing that she's not from Earth, and she's just going around trying to find her way and figure out who she is. And then everything just goes from there, man. This was a good story. Brian Michael Bendis, he really put this one together. This was nice. Had everyone engaged. Now she's in the DC universe. Coming in at number 3, guys. This is Rob Guillory's Farmhand. This is coming from Image. Great story. About a family who's the eldest in the family. He's got this seed that they planted, and they grow limbs. And these limbs are being used to replace organs and such from people who need donors and what have you. But when over time these limbs take on a mind of their own and they cause some type of illness. But this is great, man. This is full of laughter. This is a very funny, very lighthearted, but an excellent story plot. And again, the way that the artwork is drawn, it goes right along with the storyline. You can't miss with this one right here. Farmhand is a beautiful story. definitely is a must read. Definitely. Robert Guillory, he really smashed it with that one. We're down to number 2, guys. And I have to tell you guys, this one also, coming from Mark Miller, Magic Order. How many of you guys remember this one? About a family of magicians. And then there's this dark entity that wants to destroy all of them so that they can control the magician, the magic world. Man, a lot of action in this one. I love this one. I really enjoyed it. Number 2, Mark Miller's Magic World from Image Comics. Excellent read. And coming down to my number 1. My number 1 absolute best read of 2019. Couldn't wait for it to hit the shelves. Without further ado, your boy Cullen Bunn from Boom Studios smashed it with Bone Parish. I love this story, this comic book. Man, it's about this drug that you use, and then you find yourself envisioning the person whose bones that the drug was made out of. The drug is made out of bones of dead people. And when you smoke it or you use it or whatever they do, they shoot it, use it, whatever they do to it, then they start hallucinating the lives of the dead person whose bones that they're getting high off of. This was a wild ride right here. Crazy. Cullen Bunn killed it with this one. Fire. Straight liquid. Must have. Bone Parish. That's my number 1 read of the year. One thing I definitely want to do though, before we move on to the package that we got in the mail, I want to do an honorable mention. I have to do an honorable mention because Glass has been killing this from DC. This has been a steady right here. It's a constant. So you might want to pick this up too. All right? Just keep your eyes out for Teen Titans while you're out there. This is my honorable mention. Because this has been the book that's been holding me down while I was waiting on my other books. You know, so it kept me engaged. It was very consistent. A very action-packed story through and through and through. Just full of action. You know, special appearances by Lobo. It's just crazy in here. You know, so this has been a great story. Check it out. Teen Titans. And I like how they all got their mouths all taped up. Look. It's a lot of happenings going on in this book. So check it out. So that's what's up, folks. Those are my top 10 reads of 2019. So at any time you find yourself bored, go back and check this video out and pick one of those books and help you occupy some time. I know you'll like them. And we got them all at cover price. And most of them are still at cover price. So you can't lose. Right? So moving right along, we're going to pop this open. Let me just grab my blade real quick. As always, I got my trusty blade. We're going to split it. Happy holidays to everybody. As you can see, I'm in the Christmas spirit You guys like my shirt? You guys like my elfin shirt? I wore it to work today. Really having a great time this holiday. I appreciate the comic book community. I respect all you guys. I enjoy hanging out with you in the chats. Just kicking it. Can't wait for the new year. See what it brings. What new stories, what new comics we gonna get. I'm excited. I'm just living life and loving it. Oh, okay. So I guess somewhere along the line, I felt that I needed a new The Magnificent Miss Marvel issue number 10. I think this is the first appearance of, what's this? The new suit? Stormbreaker, I think it is. Correct me in the chat if I'm wrong, but I think that's what it is. So I think this book was hot when it came out. I caught a couple copies, but I guess at the end of the day, I must have caught FOMO too, and and hit the button. Complete order. Yeah, I believe that's exactly what it is. Yeah. I like to have nice, crispy copies of things, though. Send them out to get graded one day. One day. We'll see. Well, there you have it, folks. Those are C3's top 10 reads of 2019, plus the honorable mention Teen Titans, and a piece of mail. Man, you can't beat that. So I know you guys got better things to do than hang out and listen to me ramble on about comic books. Do me a favor, once again, before you go, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Tell a friend, tell a family member. Just tell somebody. If you read a comic, your whole day will change. I'm your boy C3. As always, we're going to keep it comics. Happy New Year's, happy holidays, Merry Christmas. Keep reading.